America, and welcome to Happy Hour. It is the gateway to the weekend, and this is the Bob and Sheri crew. Yours, yours truly, Bob Lacey, along with Sherry Lynch. And tonight, check it out. Max is with us, and Lamar is with us also. Now, Heather, is Heather being seen by everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have enough band with. But welcome.
This is an exciting happy hour because, let me raise a glass. This is Lamar's first happy hour as a full-time member, full-time of the Bob and Sheri family. Cheers.
Yeah, most jobs you get up and you say what you'd like to accomplish and all. Here, you just drink. So it's a different deal altogether. Welcome, Lamar. Really welcome.
Thank you. Thank
you. Yeah.
It's
You're
great
doing
to be here.
You are doing great, by the way.
Well, listen, it ain't like I haven't watched you for 25 years. Surely by osmosis, I would get something from it. I mean, come on.
Nah, you do your
Lamar,
own thing.
I was talking to my daughter Olivia a little bit before we jumped on happy hour, and she said, "How's Lamar doing?" I said, "You know what? He's doing great." And she said, "But seriously, Mom, if he couldn't figure out how to learn in all this time, then he's got bigger problems." That is such a compliment, like as only my daughter could get.
Yeah, that's kind of cold.
I mean, honestly, I can't imagine how many hours over the 25 years. It's 25 plus. I don't know exactly, but how many hours we've spent together, in the studio, in the great days of the plane, in the plane, and the dinners and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I have paid attention to you, Bob. I really have. So,
really?
Yes, really. I really have.
It's women that ignore you, Bob. The People's Movie Critic was here for it.
That's how codependent I am. When Lamar says, "I've really paid attention to you," I'm thinking to myself, "Did we make the right hire here?"
What are his priorities and goals? Oh my God.
Max, how are you? I haven't seen you face to face in a while.
No. I was worried about whether this was the right shirt to wear or not, but seeing how everybody else is dressed, I think I did okay.
You did fine.
Yeah, we didn't have maybe we should one happy hour a month or so. We should have a theme where we have to dress up a certain way. Bob loves that. Bob loves when I come up with ideas like
between you and my wife. Oh my God.
In South Carolina, the DMV on Friday, they have to pick a color and they all have to wear it. It doesn't have to be the same exact shirt or whatever, but they all have to wear the same color.
No, really?
Really?
Yes.
I kind of love that.
Yeah.
So you walk into the DMV anywhere in South Carolina on a Friday and everybody's wearing purple or everybody's wearing pink or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're still telling you don't have all the paperwork you need.
Yeah, exactly. They're not wearing a smile.
Yeah, they're all the same color.
Yeah, they're all wearing purple, but not a smile. That's good. And let me tell you why. That's a tough job. I don't care what state it is. That's a tough job.
Let me read this comment from Wendy Wright. She said, "My mom is from Royston and my dad's from Hartwell, Georgia.
Hello.
That makes me remember so much when I listen to him. Ha ha ha."
Yeah. Well, we used to go to Royston. They had to go to Royston to get up to the Waffle House back in years ago. I'm sure there's a Waffle House everywhere now. But
where was your daddy's bootlegger? Was that in Royston or the opposite direction?
No, that was in Anderson County, South Carolina. We crossed the river on the Smith McGee Bridge. Yeah, it was Bud's place right as you cross the river up on the right. He only had beer, but Bud would go out the back door, walk up the hill, come back with a bag wrapped up with a pint of Old Crow and throw me a pack of pork skins, and it was a good night.
Those are some good childhood memories.
Yeah, they sure are. My favorite part of that is he walked up the hill,
Yeah, his house was up on top of the hill, but the beer joint was down at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
My favorite part of it, his father would take a pull on it, and he had a Coke as a chaser, and Lamar was holding the Coke, and Lamar would move the Coke around while he's sitting there driving. And that would,
But now I had to time it because at a certain point he slapped the shit out of me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, you had to time that out just right. You don't want to get hit, but yeah.
That's better technology than Tesla to have you there with that sort of timing.
Isn't it crazy? Because each of us have a story where we were so ridiculously grateful to have time alone and the attention of a parent that we were willing to do anything. Lamar would get out of bed on a school night to go to the bootlegger. My favorite Big Bob story is the one where he took you and Kenny for a walk in the woods, and Kenny is Bob's little brother. And Bob said to Kenny, "Don't let me talk too much. I want to get on his nerves." Right? We all have that.
That was true. Yeah. It was a walk between the cottage we were renting in a place called Giant's Neck in East Lyme, Connecticut. And I had found a way on my own to go to Rocky Neck State Park, go through their woods, and end up about a quarter of a mile from my father's restaurant. And I told him that. And he, at this point, he was losing all his money. He was doing very little with the family, and especially with me. And he listened to it, and something struck. The old man, every once in a while, really would rise to the occasion. And he said, "Show me how to get there. I'll walk with you." Oh, I was so excited. And of course, my brother wanted to come along. And that's when I said, if I start talking too much. And now, all these years later, I have a buzzer under my ass, and it's connected to Sheri's studio, and it's the same thing.
Well, it's, for your own good. I have to read this comment from Pat Gallagher. And I know, Lamar, this is a compliment, but I have to tell you that ahead of time. Okay, are you ready? Pat says, "Lamar cleans up well," all in caps. "I thought he looked like a hillbilly with overalls and no shirt."
It's not the first time we've heard that.
We go on an affiliate visit, and we would meet listeners that go, "You're not nearly as fat and stupid as I thought you'd be."
I can't picture. Lamar, have you ever one time in your life worn overalls and no shirt?
Never.
No. I can't picture it.
This is why we don't win Marconi Awards, Sheri. I just want to talk between you and me.
Because he won't be a character.
Exactly. The ones who win these awards, they find somebody who's a decent person. And in this case, this is what they would do with Lamar. First, they would black out his front tooth.
Yes.
Then they would no shirt, the overalls, and I think it's interesting.
Like a stupid looking hat and a piece hanging in his mouth. And he would go, "Golly, it's Moonshine Monday." Woo,
yeah,
woo, woo.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why we don't win these things.
You're right.
Because we like him the way he is. He is one of the most sophisticated men that we know. When we used to play,
don't need to get out more.
No.
Truth. I mean, when people go, "Oh, Lamar, I didn't expect you to have both eyes and all your teeth."
Well, we only have Max for a little while. How are all the dogs? I saw it posted today, 2 dogs that were sitting outside of your
the
studio.
bathroom? No, it wasn't the studio. It was the bathroom. These dogs will follow me everywhere.
Really?
Mojo is not in here. Hang on. I'll get.
Yeah, get one of them up there.
This is Cooper.
Oh.
This is Cooper.
Oh, Cooper.
Cooper's great because Cooper can't hear a thing, so he's not afraid of storms at all.
Cooper worships Max like a god. He does.
Watch it. He just falls into me.
How old is Cooper? That is so cute.
Cooper is 14.
Oh. Do you see how Cooper does? He falls into Max. He loves on Max.
Hang on, let me tell Kevin that. Kevin, do you see what Cooper's doing? He can't hear anything, so he doesn't bitch about anything, and he just falls into him.
But some of you have asked about Mojo. Mojo, of course, had the surgery in January, and he's 100%. I mean,
good.
They told us that it was going to work, and they told us that it would be fine, and so we're very happy that we have Mojo.
That's great.
Okay.
That's great.
I must read Jennifer Koff's comment. She says, She says, okay,
What?
are you ready? She
Go.
says, Lamar should have a who farted hat if you need a character.
Let me go ahead and say there is not a job anywhere that would benefit me enough to put on a hat with that word on it. I don't say that word.
Right.
I don't think that word.
That's why I said you were one of the classiest guys that we know.
That's not no.
Now that's not a high level to rise to, but nonetheless, I respect that.
What people don't realize is that Lamar, you said one time, I am a Renaissance redneck, but you're not even a redneck. Like you're just a man who grew up in Hartwell, Georgia, with a Southern accent. Like we went to, I'm trying to remember where it was. We all went together, Max, and people had money bets on Lamar, on what he'd be wearing, what he was going to look like. It was
whether I was going to be white or black.
I was going to say what the race was.
Gainesville,
That's where
Florida.
the big money was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Lamar, as we often say here on the Bob and Sheri Show, what are you going to do? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, how are the Phillies going to do this year, Max?
The Phillies are kicking it. They're going to be.
Really?
They're going to get the wild card, and they're going to go back to the World Series, and they're going to win it this time. So that's what's going on with the Phillies.
Yeah, very good.
They're off tonight, so that's why I can be here.
Cindy Beal is asking where Doc is. We try to give Max and Doc the time off because they work really long hours. So if you see Max on happy hour, then next time you'll see Doc, because like today, I know you probably just finished working on the podcast for Talkin' Lamar. We have a great Talkin' Lamar for you tomorrow, by the way. So they have super long days, y'all. So that's why we don't drag them both into happy hour. And we've only got Lamar or Max for a short time tonight. Right. Heather, tell everybody what we're giving away tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So we're giving away water bottles, and it's a little bit different tonight. So one comment's going to equal one entry as always, but if you share tonight's live, you'll also be entered to win a water bottle that way. So if you share the live, I'll be going through everybody who shared and giving away one water bottle to someone at random who shared.
And I want to shout out Ed Erdley in Grand Junction. When Kevin and I were driving toward the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park, which is in Montrose, California, I DM'd Ed on Facebook and was like, "What are you doing, Ed?" And I think it was his birthday or his son's birthday. So he was off doing something else. So welcome Grand Junction and Montrose. Oh my God. Like so many people after we posted photos of Black Canyon of the Gunnison, which by the way is Lamar and Max, it is the deepest, narrowest canyon in the United States. It is breathtaking beyond belief. Like you just, the number of times where Kevin and I just looked at each other and went like, can you even so many people reached out and said, "Oh, that's in my backyard." Like, can you imagine having that kind of beauty right in your backyard? Grand Junction and Montrose are just, oh my God, jaw dropping.
I'll tell you what was jaw dropping on my vacation the last day. We had a great time. If you're not following everything that goes on, you have this life. Mary and I haven't been anywhere in like 3 years together. And we went to Switzerland and Italy, and we took a train through Switzerland, and it was just wonderful. And the people are so nice. And we went to Lake Como, which was fantastic, and just one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I've been lucky enough to travel a lot. And then we went over to Sardinia, which is an island. It's part of Italy. And we were there for several days, and that was very, very nice. And we saw a regatta in the distance. We saw Jeff Bezos' incredible yacht that was moored. And I ate pasta like every day for lunch, for dinner, pizza. I mean, it was fantastic. And then we flew to Rome, and in my mind, I was saying, okay, we're only there overnight, but we're going to get there maybe early enough, and we're going to get a charming Roman hotel, and we'll go out and have our final Italian dinner and then fly back to New York and connect. And it did not go that way.
What happened?
It was a moment that I had to rise as a husband, because if I did not, it would be a negative legacy on my marriage forever. We checked into this hotel, which was 2 miles from the airport. The guy at the airport obviously spotted us and said, I said, how much is it? You know, we're negotiating how much to go to the hotel. It's 2 miles from here. And he said, that'd be $1,400. No, not really. But I mean,
Close, right?
it was close. And finally, we agreed and we get there. The hotel, I think, was designed by a prison guard. It had zero charm, nothing. The hallways were dark. The carpet was gray. There were no pictures. It was terrible. But we went, all right, we're just staying overnight. We get something to eat and then we'll leave. We got into the room, and my wife has such an ability for smells, senses, feelings. And I watched her, and she walked over to the bed and she pulled down the cover and then pulled down the sheet. And she said, oh, look at this hair. And then she said, oh, look over here, a couple of bugs. And then she turned to me. And at that moment, I had to get that room changed and explain to an Italian staff what was going on. So I got in the elevator. And we were on the second floor. They were redoing the floors and had not done the second floor yet. And of course, they gave it to us. There's 5 floors that have been redone. Let's give them the floor that has not been redone. And I go down there and I go, hello, we have just checked in. See, so what can we help you? There are hair and bugs in our bed.
Oh, God. How'd that go over?
With a stare. And then she called, her manager. And again, he spoke less English than she did. And I'm doing things like, bugs, and I'm doing in the bed.
He's thinking you got cooties. You got head lice.
If a person whose language I did not speak appeared in front of me at work and began talking and gesturing and then did...
You don't think I knew that when I was doing it? And then they sent up a guy that could have been part of the Corleone family to move us. He was so pissed off. Old guy thought he was done for the day. And I say, bugs and hair in the room. He speaks no English. And he told me that right away. I tell you this, we finally got a good room and everything was fine. Every other moment in Italy was lovely and it was fantastic. And we had a guide to see, Clooney's house, on Como and all. And I love Italy so very much, but only me. People have been saying, what's the Bob moment? And that was it.
I thought of Mary because one of the things that Karamia and I got in our box from the Where Ya Been store was this peculiar little flashlight that let out blue light. And I didn't know what it was. I said, is this so that when you go camping in the middle of the night, you can find the bathroom without disturbing people? And Karamia was like, Mom, that's so you can look at your hotel bed and see if there are any biological fluids.
Yep.
So everywhere we went, we whipped out the blue flashlight and everything was spotless and flawless. In fact, I want to shout out. It was, I'm not even sure it's real. I think it might be like the movie Brigadoon. So when Kevin and I travel, we don't make reservations unless it's for like a national park where we need a pass to camp or whatever.
Right.
We go and then we stop wherever we end up at the end of the day and grab dinner or whatever. And so a lot of things happened. My bag got lost and then found, and they closed I-70, and we ended up on a gravel road in the mountains. And long story short, everything was not what we had planned. And we were coming through New Mexico on a back road, heading towards Santa Fe and Interstate 40. And I'm looking for a place to stay because Kev didn't want to camp that night. It was hot. And there's this little town called Espanola. It's sort of equidistant between Ghost Ranch, the Georgia O'Keeffe Ranch, Taos, and Santa Fe. And I'm on hotels.com and I'm looking. There aren't many properties in Espanola. And are we going to have to drive all the way to Santa Fe to find a place to stay? Kev's tired. We'd been hiking all day. We've been driving for about 4 hours. I click on this hotel. It's called the Inn at the Delta. And I look at it and it's too good to be true. And I said to Kev, this might be too good to be true, but we're going to book it because it's less than the Holiday Inn Express. We get there. And when I tell you guys, it was a magical place. This family has this enormous historic their colonial Mexican architecture style mansion. And they've created 10 individual casitas, little houses. That's all they have are 10.
Yeah.
Each casita has a porch. You walk in the door. All of the furnishings are authentic Mexican colonial antiques. Beautiful art on the walls, less than the Holiday Inn Express. The ceilings were rough plaster and beams. There were flowers, explosions of tropical flowers everywhere. They invite you to come into our home and tour it, spend time in our beautiful gardens. I was like, we're going to be ritualistically murdered. I could not have been more wrong. So I make the reservation online. We show up to check in. And I walk into the home and I gasped. The office is off to the left. These people live in this house. It was like, I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. And I've traveled a lot. We go into the office. It's the whole family. And they're like, we have a reservation. So the owner of the place and her little granddaughter walk us to our room and they show us our casita. And we had stopped at a store and picked up a bottle of wine and some stuff. And we were celebrating our anniversary. We were going to have like a little picnic out on the little porch of this casita. We had a picnic. We drank wine. We sat by tropical flowers, the moonlight. I went in. I've never slept in a more beautiful, peaceful, amazing place. When I woke up the next morning, I said out loud, thank you, God, for the gift of this night. I'm going to remember this the rest of my life. The freaking Holiday Inn Express costs more. Now, it's the only thing like it in Espanola, which is just this little town on the road in New Mexico. And when you turn off into the parking lot, you literally enter a garden oasis with this incredible property. I could cry talking about it. It was amazing. So if you are ever in the New Mexico, Santa Fe area, don't stay in Santa Fe. Stay at the Inn at the Delta in Espanola. It was we drove to Santa Fe the next morning to eat breakfast. It was a half an hour drive. And we had the most, we can't stop talking about it. Like I'll post some pictures on my Instagram, whatever. The most romantic, magical, precious night in this family's home. And when I told them, they were like, are you traveling for any reason? I was like, we're just kind of traveling, but we're celebrating our anniversary. And they said, well, do you have some wine? I was like, I have a bottle of wine. And the woman said, please wait here. And she went into her own kitchen and got 2 crystal goblets. You guys, I could cry. It was breathtaking.
That is so nice. That is so beautiful.
Can I just?
I'm glad you had that. Before it gets away, I lost the person's name, but this person said her father was in Italy. They went down to the beach. He lost his wallet on the beach. I don't know what the town was in Italy. An Italian fisherman found it, traced the guy down, gave it to him at the hotel. They wanted to give him a reward. He refused and said, welcome to our country. So I just don't want to give a negative impression. Italy is a wonderful place, as is obviously New Mexico.
I think Max has to jump.
I'm going to have to jump. But I want to tell you how I spent my vacation.
Okay.
I don't want to make you jealous.
Go ahead.
I took care of Sherry's cats.
God. Oh my God. No.
Yeti the lizard who has to be fed mealworms with tweezers one at time.
What does she have on you? I know it's something.
I helped him hide a body. Shut up. Why are you so cynical?
All, and the cats were kind of like, who the hell are you?
But
And
man,
then towards
did,
the end,
did Yeti love his Uncle Max one worm at a time on the end of the tweezers?
Well, we have had a rough week coming back because that's just the way it is sometimes when there's
I'm
a
gonna
lot of
go.
travel.
Bye,
Guys,
Max.
And you've done a great job,
Welcome,
Max.
Lamar.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank you. I want to talk about Lamar again for a minute. I wanted to get away.
Please do,
from
because
him.
I love to talk about me. It's my favorite subject.
For people who are regular listeners to the show, you know what a delight Lamar is. If you're one of the folks who, you're very busy and you're in and out of the program every once in a while, we appreciate that so much. I will just tell you right now, and I've done this a long, long time, I know radio sound pretty well. And the addition of Lamar to our show has made it so much more fun. And I am just thrilled. And I think maybe you're a person who only, catches us a couple of times a week. You've got to catch us 5 times a week now, because this show has just become supercharged with fun. And
Well,
I
can
am
we-
so excited to have Lamar with us.
Can
appreciate
we
it.
like be real? Because like Lamar was born to be in show business. He just was. Like a lot of radio people were kind of shy introverts and not natural performers. Lamar was born for the stage. But life comes at you, and Lamar was a responsible guy, and he took care of business and his family and everything else, right? But ever since we met Lamar and he joined the show, first as primetime Lamar reviewing TV, and then as the People's Movie Critic, we would say, God, is there any way? What if there was some way for Lamar to just be with us? And we always came back to Anheuser-Busch has benefits that we can't even touch, and he's got kids, and like there's no way that we can ask him to sacrifice that to work in radio. And then because life is funny, and sometimes it throws you that curveball. And this time the curveball came across the plate and we were all teed up to hit it. And so the ability to have Lamar with us, not just sometimes, but all the time, you guys you can't even know like what a thrilling dream come true this is, because we have always believed that Lamar was meant to be in show business.
When he came on the show a few days ago, I said, actually, Mary came on. Mary was talking about, and I can discuss that a little bit more. Mary came on and she said, Bob is so thrilled to have Lamar on because, as he said to me just the other day, I am so tired of doing all the heavy lifting. Now, I fed her that line. And she nailed it. And
she did.
And this one in the right corner here. This one, eyes went like that.
Well,
And
because I had to dodge being smoked by Jehovah's angry fist. The heaviest thing you've been lifting is that cocktail that you drinking. Okay.
I don't know. Mary's around here somewhere, but I think she's getting dressed. I can bring her in here, but
Hey, bring her in before she finishes getting dressed. That'll really amp our numbers.
Yeah. She's not going to come in, but for those of you has she recovered from her parasailing over Zermatt? The bottom line is she went parasailing off of the Matterhorn, which is it looks like a hook of a mountain in the top of Switzerland in Zermatt. And she's attached to a guy who is the actual, guy that controls the flying. She threw up all over the city.
You guys,
She threw up. I don't know who got hit. The guy got hit somebody below must have gotten hit, and she's fine. And we did not get chased out of the country, but ooh.
I know a lot of somebody's got hit because Mary texted me the photo. Someone was taking pictures and caught her mid hurl. And
Oh, they
I
did.
have the picture, and the volume that she sprayed onto the good people of Zermatt, Switzerland is
Right.
not to be believed.
Yeah. Well,
It
there's
was
a
a
lot
lot.
of Wiener Schnitzel that's sold there,
Yeah.
you know. And so,
I could tell by the amount of puking that you weren't lying about all the pasta you were eating.
exactly.
It was generous. So-
Exactly.
Well,
I
let's-
was at the hotel bar, and she went off and she said, well, that's fine if you don't want to come, but I haven't come all this distance not to do something that's really memorable. Oh, she did.
let me read Teresa's comment, and then I have a question for Lamar. Teresa said, Bob gets hair and bugs in his bed, and Sheri gets a fairy tale hotel. And
Yeah.
it did kind of work out that way. It did.
Yeah.
So let's talk to Lamar. So Lamar, did you ever imagine that it would end up this way?
The first month that I started calling you, I had this in my head. Now, I knew it would take a while. I wasn't sure it's going to go 25 years.
You played the long game.
Yeah, I did play the long game.
Did. That's
I
right.
did play the long game. And this is an absolute dream come true for me. I mean, it is, there is nobody that can be happier than me. It would be impossible to be happier.
You know what the scene is here, really? I'm sure Budweiser is a wonderful company.
Oh,
it really is.
tremendous.
It's one of the great American.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't match
institutions.
what Budweiser could do for Lamar.
They
and his
raised
family.
me, my kids. I cannot say enough about the Budweiser, Spartanburg, the distributorship, the people. It's a family.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a family company. It's been tremendous. It's been tremendous.
It's been tremendous. However, 30 or 40 years from now, when your obituary is read, people will say, and he was an executive with Anheuser-Busch, and prior and right after that became a nationally syndicated radio personality. That, you know,
this is it.
Part of your brand right now, pal.
This is it. This is it. I mean, this is it for 25 years.
Yeah.
I've been practicing.
I've been doing that with marriages, and I finally succeeded too.
Yeah.
I was very lucky because Lamar and Carla live near where Karamia goes to school. And in fact, in my Facebook memories today, the photo of you and Karamia and Carla at dinner popped up. Lamar and Carla took Karamia out to dinner when she first started college to kind of make her feel like, you know, like you have people here. You're not that far from home, right?
Yeah, that's nice.
So I was the one who got to go down and have dinner with Lamar and Carla and say, hey, I'm hearing that you're winding it up at Budweiser. Would you like to be with us full time? And that was a really cool thing to be able to do.
It was a great.
Because it was something we've won at Lamar. Like, it was never like, oh, well, you know, it's just, I mean, you know, you've been around radio for a long time. We couldn't match what Anheuser-Busch did. Yeah. We had to wait for you to not be at Budweiser anymore before we could pounce.
You know, it's funny with a setup like this, and some of the folks who are with us tonight maybe have that in their business, and it doesn't have to be, you know, in show business, doesn't have to be with a rock band or whatever. But when it is a tight knit, a small group, when it's a small group of people, and we are a small group of people. I mean, totally on the Bob and Sheri show, there's probably about 7 people, but the principals, there's 3 or 4 or 5. It is like a rock band. You all have to really get along and really have the other's rhythm and understand when a person is a little ticked off or a little off and support them. If that person does not really fit in, if that person is someone who is more of a pain in the ass than they should be, even if they're talented, they can't stay.
You can't.
I think that's one of the things that Lamar has this wonderful gift, and also fits in just like hand in glove, which is perfect.
Well, something that we all have in common, and we share this with most, I think, of the people that are with us, is we all came up rough. We all came up hard in different ways.
Yep.
Okay. We all have a different story, but you could boil it down to nothing was promised, nothing was easy, and it was kind of a miracle that you made it out. That's true for Heather, Lamar, Bob, me. I mean, we always had that in common. And so one of the things that we also had in common as a result of that was, can you believe we get to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lamar, like he was just one of us from the jump.
I think you have to, I was mentioning that there might be some people who, have the same situation. Do you hear that?
What is Mary doing?
That's her head against the side of the wall, thinking back about my going down to change the rooms. No, you know what actually it is?
Is she breaking up some ice or something?
Or did she find
That's her head.
Cube steak? Cube steak?
She is changing the doorknobs in our house because she doesn't like the way they look.
Bob, I got to tell you, whether it's at home or at work, boy, you sure do know how to pick you a woman. You really do.
Didn't we talk about the other day? He was going to start doing some
shit around the house.
Yeah, I got to do some shit.
Did he not go down to the front desk and say, is that not nothing?
That's right.
It counts for a lot.
Thank you. Where was I? Let's just go to Heather's hair because people love Heather's hair.
They do.
Let's get a shot of Heather's hair right now, can we?
I love that it's matching Heather's shirt. Yeah, that really.
You just re-dyed it.
Is it kind of magenta? My screen isn't very bright tonight.
Yep, it is. It is magenta, and I tried to put some darker purple on the ends, but it didn't stay well. But
very good.
My skin is also magenta. I've got to deal with that.
Y'all coming to my house in a couple of weeks, so we can all just kind of get together as a new phase begins here. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be. I made reservations.
Oh,
yeah.
You made the reservations. You did
at the restaurant.
And you got the right day and everything.
Hey, Bob, did you call him?
Huh?
Did you call him? This
did.
is like a phone. Did you call him?
I called them.
Okay, good.
On the.
I can't do that. I can't do that crap online with what's it called? Table.
Open table.
Open table. Yeah. I just,
Here's the problem with that, Bob. You put it in, and they say you got it. But do you really have it?
That's my worry.
If you talk to somebody and you say, "What's your name?" I'm making reservations. Okay.
Yeah. Eugene. I talked to Eugene, and he got me a table. Yeah, I'm all set.
Yeah. I will do just about anything to get out of having to talk to someone on the phone.
Well, amen, sis. Oh my God.
What is with it? What is with you people? Why do you act like this?
And can I tell you,
talking to people?
Can I tell you, Kevin used to be skeptical of my apps and me like driving down the road, swiping and looking and Googling and searching. But after the Inn at the Delta, that magical, enchanted evening in Española, New Mexico, he is fully on board.
Yeah, that's a success story right there.
And then I found a breakfast restaurant in Santa Fe the next day called The Pantry, which was, I mean, it was ridiculous. Like we had a perfect 24 hours. I love New Mexico so much. Hey, to all of our Albuquerque listeners, like I love, y'all are so lucky to live in the land of enchantment. Oh, hey, while Bob's not here.
No, Bob is here. Bob is
listen, Bob.
And for people who don't believe me, here she is.
Hey.
I love this safe.
That's her drill. Show them the drill.
How's it coming?
Not so good. I had to have a guy weld a piece because it wouldn't fit right because it's for a European door, and I didn't know that, but I wasn't going to give up.
I offered to do it, but I'm very busy these days.
So I have to force it with a hammer now, and I don't know if that's a good idea, but
Right.
Hey, it sounds like you're forcing it with a hammer.
I didn't know
Yeah.
y'all could hear me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we can hear you.
For me.
We couldn't hear anything else.
Bob, what I was going to say is we went to Dulce, New Mexico, where the U.S.
Right.
military allegedly has an underground joint base with the reptilian extraterrestrials.
It's so much better than doorknob doing.
Right.
And listen,
There you go.
listen, like you roll your eyes. I see your skeptical face, but we didn't find any hair or bugs in Dulce, New Mexico. Now, we also didn't get abducted by the reptilians.
I told them about how I handled that situation.
He did.
The hair and the
Handled
bugs.
it.
You're a handy man to have around, Bob. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, and Mary exits stage.
And there she goes. Yeah.
With the drill.
Oh, look, Kev's here because we cannot tell you enough how blown away we are by the awesome, gracious hospitality and kindness of law enforcement in the great state of Colorado.
Eagle County, Colorado.
You're especially happy with him, are you not, Kevin?
Sheriff's Deputy Heath, I don't know if that's his first or last name, was dealing with a flooded major interstate which we drove through, and still was extremely patient with my extremely stupid mistake, and led us to Cottonwood Pass, which was an awesome 50-something mile drive across the mountains. So, and also the nice person, whether you're a local or a tourist like us in Minturn, Colorado, cool ass town. We will be back, and it's a testament to their chill vibe that and how relaxed I was with my woman that I drove off without her shit.
Literally, Kev left my bag with all my clothes and my MacBook on the ground
God,
in an outdoor parking lot.
Kevin, that is such a move for me. Oh my God, I
Beautiful.
felt for you when she started telling the story because I would have done that with no problem. I would have done it.
See, it's not. I don't do that because I do other things, and it's real easy to accuse me of doing things. So I write notes on my hand. I set stuff up, so I will have to walk over it to miss it. But I was so relaxed and having such a good time. I just
Minturn is as magical a town as that hotel we stayed in New Mexico. But now, and you tell the truth, Kevin, do not in any way fudge it. Did I lose my shit?
oh no, huh? I mean,
Very nice.
you
See,
didn't
that's
leave
very
anything
cool.
behind. I'm the one that left it.
I said, don't worry about it. Everything that was on my MacBook, the only thing that matters is True Weird Stuff. And I've emailed all that to Max. And I guess we're going shopping for some clothes. But then somebody turned it in, and thank you to the deputies of Eagle County who fetched it from Minturn and brought it to Eagle, Colorado. And Heath, man, I don't know if you'll ever hear this, but not only did you hook us up with our bag, but when I-70 was closed because of flooding, instead of letting us be stranded, he made us follow him. We would never have found this on our own. Our navigation didn't even pick it up. Apple Maps didn't have it. Waze didn't have it. This officer made us follow him to the road that would take us to Carbondale.
Everybody is posting, you're in Colorado. The cop and y'all were stoned.
Well, here's the best thing. There was a dispensary 2 doors down from the Eagle County Sheriff's Office. And we were like, you know what? We'll get my bag. We'll hit the dispensary. But once the officer is like, I need you good folks to follow me, you're not going to the dispensary. It turns out you're going to
Yeah.
Cottonwood Pass and driving on a dirt road through the mountains.
Is Minturn? I don't know why it strikes a note with me. Is that somewhere near Beaver Creek, Colorado?
Yes, and
Yes.
also Vail, cool
I-
ass
I-
town.
I
Probably
have
not
been
1,000
there.
people live there.
Yeah, I went there, and there's a really cool restaurant there. I forget the name of it, but that's a very cool area. I couldn't figure out exactly where I heard it before, but I took my kids years ago when they were little skiing there once.
It's right near Beaver Creek in Vail because
Yeah.
we had spent the night in Vail. That's where we initially thought we left the bag. And then when we were hours away at Black Canyon of the Denison when we put it together, and I looked at Kevin and said, Minturn, you changed your shirt in the parking lot at Minturn because it had gotten warm. We called the restaurant where we ate breakfast, and the woman who answered, I explained what happened, and she was like, "Wow, I'm really sorry, but you know what? People here are very cool, and I bet somebody will turn your bag in." I'm from Philly. I was like, "Nobody's turning my bag in." Cut to somebody turned my bag in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
The
That's so
sheriff's deputy drove 25 miles out of his way to get it.
Not only that, but I-70 was closed because of flooding. There were all sorts of, this officer's radio was going wild. And you know what he did? He tapped his radio and said, "I need to help these folks," and then led us to the Cottonwood Pass. I was blown away
who I
by
saw
that.
there? You know who I saw there once, years and years ago? We were skiing, and you know, we were in a family that skied a lot, but this was a big deal. And so we got tickets to ski in Beaver Creek, and it's a really nice skiing area. And I got the tickets and I went over, and there's a little escalator, even though it's outside, to go down to get the lift up on the slopes. And there, standing by the escalator by himself, and he is one of the tallest, biggest guys I've ever seen in my life, rocking back and forth on his ski boots with a big smile like this. Kelsey Grammer.
really.
Yeah.
I love him.
And everybody left him alone, but there he was. And he's got his ski stuff on, and he's just as happy as can be.
Did you steal his luggage?
No, I didn't steal his luggage.
Can I tell you, I had never been to Vail.
Vail's wonderful.
Kev drove to Denver and picked me up in Denver. I was there for work. And then we drove to Vail, and we had made a reservation at a hotel in Vail, and we were going to go out to dinner. We decided that we would just celebrate our anniversary everywhere we went on this trip. And Vail was really beautiful, and it was super, like, it had its own kind of energy. But I think since I'm not a skier, Vail didn't speak to me the way that Minturn did, or Carbondale, or
It's totally different. Yeah.
or Montrose.
Super built up.
Yeah.
Last
Vail
time I was there, I was 17.
has what they call the back bowls, because I do ski. And you can go there, and the back
No,
bowl.
you don't. You don't ski anymore. You hadn't skied for 10 years. I can look at you. You hadn't been skiing.
No, I haven't. You're right about that. I haven't skied in 10 years. But I know how. Okay. And that
And that's
counts,
true. I've
that
skied
counts
with you,
for
Bob.
something.
I have skied with
that
Bob.
counts for something.
I have
right?
skied with Bob.
Yeah, you and I skied together in Utah, right?
Park
Yep.
City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell Kevin that. Tell
Don't you
Kevin
live
that.
at the beach?
I skied with
How
Bob.
come you don't have a better tan?
Bob is like me. We believe in sunscreen 24/7.
Sunscreen and a hat, my friend. Sunscreen and a hat.
Spray tan.
But I got to tell you, if I were to ski again, and Kevin's right, it's been over 10 years, I would have the shortest skis in the world. I would have skis that are this long. I think these days, I won't break anything, baby.
Yeah.
As long as it's all about fun. I'd ski on short
Yeah.
skis.
I don't ski. I love when people find out that I grew up out in Wyoming. They're like, "Oh, do you ski?" I'm like, skiing is for people with money. My family didn't have a phone or food. You think we had lift ticket money? You think we had ski money? No, we
So
didn't
expensive.
have. We didn't
You're
ski.
right. It is
Yeah.
so expensive. You're
It is.
exactly right.
So I just want to shout out. We have a lot of listeners in Grand Junction and Montrose, and y'all are so lucky to live where you live. The beauty is jaw dropping, but the people. We got pulled by a cop in Rifle, Colorado, because Kevin had a temporary tag and all the ink washed away in the rain, so we looked like a couple of sketchy drug runners. We got pulled by a cop in Rifle, Colorado, who was delightful. The fact that I'm saying we got pulled by a cop and he was delightful, but there's something about Colorado.
If you're in Colorado, you're no longer a drug runner. You're just a citizen.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. It is something else. Colorado really, people don't realize that there's only mountains in a certain part of Colorado. The rest of it's plains. It's the Midwest.
Oh yeah, when you fly into Denver, you can see there's
Yeah.
it's all flat, and then all of a sudden the mountains.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we went to Durango. We stayed overnight at the Stater Hotel in Durango, which is so Marshall Dillon and Miss Kitty cowboy movie, iconic Western, like the hotel that you would see in a movie like Tombstone. So we stayed overnight one night there. And then we went to Cortez to go to the Canyons of the Ancients National Monuments. And we stayed in a hotel, Bob, you would have absolutely freaking loved. It was a motel, not a hotel, called the Retro Inn.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing was set up like it's 1955 and the future is bright.
I love that. There's a few of those still left in America. The Thunderbird Motel in Daytona Beach is one of them. And they just embrace that whole mid-century flat-roofed motel thing. I think it's fantastic. It's so American.
Let me shout out Billy Prevette, who said, something makes me think Kevin loves Colorado for the same reason I do.
Mexico and Arizona.
The mountains.
And Nevada.
All that sky.
Sheri
Well,
said
I'm glad
the question
that
is,
worked
how
out
much can I
for
get?
you all. I'm so glad that you had great experiences. It really is wonderful when you think that the world is coming to an end because something went wrong, and then people just are terrific, and it just makes everything that you are experiencing so much better.
Kim English said, Sheri, you didn't go to Red Rocks. We actually had dinner at a restaurant right next to Red Rocks, Heather, remember? But I didn't get to see a concert at Red Rocks. That's on my bucket list. Ed Eardley asked if we saw the tarantula migration. That'll have to be next year. You have to get lucky with that. And maybe you would enjoy that, Bob. Maybe we should do a whole show RV road trip to the tarantula migration and then to the underground alien base. Lamar,
Yeah, it sounds like me.
I'm in.
Doesn't it,
I'm
Lamar?
100% in.
That sounds like me.
I'm not going. I don't like spiders. I'm not going. I'm telling you
And
that.
Lamar's not going, and I'm not going.
Oh no, Lamar's going.
Long as I don't have to get out of the RV when the spiders are rolling, I'm good to go.
Unless Tony can spring for a giant plastic bubble to where they can get nowhere near me, I'm not going.
Darling, just the words "unless Tony can spring for" ought to tell you a lot.
Anything following those words is a pipe dream.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, in Colorado, a pipe dream means something else.
Yes, it does.
Indeed. So Lamar, tell us what you're gonna. In case I've had some questions going. Wait, if Lamar's coming to be on the show full time, what happens to the People's Movie Critic? Well, there's only one People's Movie Critic.
Yes.
So he's going to continue to do service as the People's Movie Critic.
I can't give that up. I cannot give that up. In fact, now I can probably go see more movies. So that'll work out better.
Yeah.
Because I've got that $18 thing, see everything you want to see. See, I can go as many as I want to.
Well, and I don't think people realize the kind of hours that you put in your job at Budweiser.
Yeah.
And sometimes like Lamar would work 10 hours, then go see a movie, then write a review, then come on the next morning and do the review. Like it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, we were very much alike that way because sometimes I would work 10 hours.
You did sometimes. You did. And they not all at once, not all in the same day.
Go ahead. Have your fun, woman. Have your fun.
Sometimes at the end of the week, he would say, I got to lie down. I've put in 10 hours.
I know.
Yeah, so relatable.
I told you before, my father said to me once, nobody was ever a success working 40 hours a week. And I took that literally.
You took that right to heart.
Yeah.
So if y'all have we have a couple of minutes left before this happy hour. If you all have any questions for Lamar, now's your chance. I mean, we'll be back. We're going to be, obviously you're looking at the show. We're going to be here for happy hour all the time, but now's your chance. If you've got something you want to ask Lamar. Oh my God. Teresa said, I can't get the picture of Mary hurling out of my hair. It's raining pasta. Hallelujah. Mary would have to give
It
me
was
permission.
something.
I cannot share this photo without her permission. It is
The
unbelievable.
photo is her vomiting on the city of Vermont. Yeah, Vermont.
So if Mary gives us permission, we'll post it. Otherwise, y'all, I cannot. She has got to release that. So if you have questions of Lamar, Regina Denton wants to know, Lamar, when are you going to come back to Florida?
That's a good question. We enjoyed. I tell you what, we did go down to Jacksonville last year around Christmas time, and we've got reservations again. We still got time if we had to cancel them, but we've got reservations again because it was such a nice campground. So I think we will be going down there.
Melissa
I hope things work out for Florida, the state, and without getting political, but and without talking about climate change. I love Florida so much. I mean, as a kid, we went there one time, and I still remember it. I just love Florida, and I know we do a million, more on it in the news stories that come out of there. But I love that state, and I want it to be saved.
I'll be there next month with our True Weird contest winners. We're going to
Really?
go kayaking and to the Space Center and everything. Lamar, Melissa Flynn said, how did Lamar get his name? Were you named after someone?
Yes, I was. I was named after my mother's grandfather's middle name, Lamar.
Wow.
And then I think it was her dad's middle name was Marion, because my middle name is Marion with 2 R's. And that's a weird,
2 R's. Really?
2 R's. Yeah.
Like Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox.
Yeah, there you go.
2 R's, because
yeah.
Let's see. There was another one. Lamar, are you going to review the My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3? I think it is.
We talked about that today, I think off air. We talked about seeing that because the first one was absolutely tremendous.
One of the
I'm always worried about the third. I'm always worried about the third movie.
I am
in the
too.
trilogy.
Yeah, I saw the trailers, and I hope it's great. And I want her to do great. She's a lovely person, and I saw the first My Big Fat Greek Wedding on a cruise ship with Sherry Lynch to Alaska. They had the movie,
cool.
and they had it first run. I'd never heard of it, and I went in and saw it. And I went back the next day and saw it again. I thought it was one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
You never get tired of it. You never get tired of My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Thing with the guy spraying the Windex everywhere, the father, and the greatest line is the Greek father says, I want to tell you, there are only 2 types of people in this world. People who are Greek and people who wish they were Greek.
Exactly. I apologize in advance, Misty. I think I'm going to mispronounce your last name. Misty Hudapole. Lamar, have you had bacon today?
Yeah. I mean, I have bacon every day. I've never had a baconless day that I can remember. If I was, it was a horrible day. I mean, no, I have had bacon today. Yes.
Wasn't there a diet that was like you eat nothing but
Atkins?
Yeah, bacon and I don't know what else, eggs, just meat, and bacon was like right at the top.
Jen in North says, sending love from Oregon. So excited for Lamar to be on the show full time. Yeah, we are. I got to tell you, we are too.
I noticed somebody asked, was I going to go see The Nun? And I'm going to say no. And let me go ahead and say this. The new Exorcist movie. No, not happening. I won't even look at the trailer. It caught me the first time it came on. I'm looking at it and I realized what it was. I looked away. No, not doing it. Not doing it.
I know. I don't want to see it either.
No, not doing it.
I don't want
We've talked about this on the show. Like,
well, the devil
you want with your movies.
Yeah.
You don't mess. I'm not.
You might be able to get away from a chainsaw massacre guy, but the freaking devil.
No, you can't get away from that. No,
you can't.
Nope,
no.
Nope.
The trailer for the new Exorcist movie, because it involves 2 little girls.
Yes, not doing.
So if you thought like one spooky demon girl was a lot to take, two spooky demon girls, and I'm the mother of two daughters. I'm telling you, I can't handle this. The trailer, you guys, the trailer, like I was awake that night with my eyes open and my heart racing. Absolutely.
No,
I saw the nun thing